everybody. Good evening. Welcome to GH Gospel Radio. It's a joy to bring to you Let's Talk Marriage. Tonight's discussion is pretty simple, and we've titled it Honoring Your Marriage. We all know that marriage is a long journey, and for most of us, we love our spouses, we care for our spouses, but there are times that because of some little things that we do not do, it makes it seem like we don't love our spouse. If you love your spouse and you don't show it, how are they going to know? And once in a while, there are certain little things that you can do that will let your spouse know that you are there for them and you are happy that they are in your life. And some of these things you have to remind yourself to do it because over time you forget. And over time, some people also act like it's not important. And especially the men. Women like it when men show off the marriage. And for women, for most women, it's a priority to show off the marriage a little bit, not because marriage is such an achievement. But trust me, marriage is a big deal and is a huge deal. And for some of us, we like to acknowledge that we are married. And we like for our partners to show that they are proud of the marriage that we are in. A lot of times, the men, the husbands, they are the ones that are caught wanting. Because as for women, most of us like to wear our marriage like a badge for everybody to see that we are married and we are happy. So tonight our aim is to talk about some of the little things that we can do to let everybody know that we are happy in our marriage. Maybe you are happy, but nobody knows it. Maybe you're a private person and you don't care to show it. But for the sake of your partner, to encourage your partner, to send a message to your partner that you are happy where you are, and to let everybody else know that you are not in bondage, nobody is holding a gun to your neck, and that you are actually happy being in the marriage that you're in. There are a few things that we can do to send that message out. We are careful to say that we are not trying to say, just try to put out a show for people to watch. No, what we are actually saying is that as you are happy in your marriage, don't keep quiet about it. Do the little things you can do to also show your partner that you're happy, because we cannot read minds. We cannot read each other's minds. So if from time to time you are doing things that let your partner know that you are happy to be in the marriage, it goes a long way and it helps. It's icing on the cake. So this encouragement particularly goes to those people who are happy but they don't care to show it because they think it's unnecessary, and to the people who also feel like they are so private. We are also careful to point out that we are not saying that make all your business public, or every time come and tell everybody that you are happy. Our focus is that as you are happy, show it. Let it be known in the little ways. At least let it be known to your partner that you are happy to be with him or her. So let's dive right in. The first thing you can do to show your partner that you are happy in the marriage, or you honor the marriage that you have, that the marriage that you have is worth a lot to you, is to wear your marriage. And the easiest way to wear your marriage is to wear your rings. If you guys exchanged rings when you got married, I know some people didn't exchange rings when they got married, and it's not compulsory to have a ring to signify your marriage, but most people do. And if you did, please wear your ring. I know a lot of people who don't know where their rings are. and they feel like what is the use of a ring? It's not a big deal. And some of them will give excuses. My ring is too tight, my ring is too loose, my ring lost a stone and I have to go and fix it. At the end of the day, when people see you without a ring, you may not think anything of it, but the society that I come from, the minute they see you without your ring, they start thinking all kinds of things. They may start thinking that your partner did something to you, or maybe your marriage is on the rocks. In order to avoid unnecessary speculation, if you exchanged rings at the altar or you exchanged rings the day you got married, please wear it. When your husband or your wife put the ring on your finger, it was not their responsibility to make sure that that ring stays on your finger. There are people who have taken off their rings just so other people will think they are not married. And ask yourself, why would you want people to think you are not married? There are some people too, when they go to certain places, they take off their rings and put it in their pocket, and then later on, they put it back on. Ask yourself, why are you taking off your ring? And for those people too who think that it's not necessary to put the ring on, why did you accept to exchange rings if you know you don't like rings? If you had made it clear at the beginning that I don't believe in rings, I don't think we should wear rings, then fine. Both of you could have come to a compromise. Maybe your wife will say, as for me, I want the ring to be on. Or your husband will say, oh, as for me, I want the ring. And you can explain, oh, I don't care for rings. They make me feel uncomfortable. If you agreed before the marriage that you will not be wearing your ring, that's different. But it's unfair that you're married and you walk around not wearing your ring. You may not think anything of it, but it doesn't honor your marriage. It makes you come off like it gives people room to think all kinds of things. And let's even forget about people. What message are you trying to send to your partner? What are you trying to tell your partner? It's not like you can carry your partner on your head or you can go announcing, I'm married, this is my wife, this is my husband. The little thing that you can do is to put on your ring. Everybody knows you're married because the day you get married, you're not going to get ugly. The day you get married, it's not like something is going to show on your forehead that you're married. It's your ring that will tell. So if you're not wearing it, what message are you sending? That you're single, you're available. That may not be your intention, but any married man who is not wearing a ring, or any married woman who is not wearing a ring, the simplest implication is that you are single and available. So if that's not the message you want to send, please go find your ring and wear it. Unless, of course, you did not exchange rings, and for that matter, you've never worn a ring. That's fine. But if you wore a ring to get married, don't make excuses about it. Let people know that you are married and honor your marriage by proudly wearing that ring. Whatever excuses that you have, they are excuses. You have no good excuse. Unless, of course, you are allergic to the ring. Whatever metal you are allergic to, go find something else that you are not allergic to. Platinum is very unreactive. Gold is highly unreactive. If you think you're allergic to the metal, find platinum, find gold, proper gold, and wear. There's no excuse for you to exchange rings and then make excuses about wearing your ring. You may not have any bad intentions, you may not think anything of it, but show some respect to your marriage. Honor your marriage by wearing your ring and keeping it on. Simple and short. Another way you can honor your marriage is to show up for couples events. We know that everybody is busy, there are a million things to do. A lot of times it's difficult to make time to be with your spouse. But there are key moments where it's essential that you show up for events. If there's a couples event, some people are introverts, they don't like going out. Some people are extroverts, they go out too often, so it's difficult to keep up. But as a married person, it is important that whenever couples are expected, please show up for your spouse. People will give excuses. Oh, I'm tired. I'm too busy. This event is not so important anyway, so they won't show up. The more you do these things, the more you send the message to your spouse that you don't care to show up for them. It might not seem like a big deal and it will sound like it doesn't matter, but these are the little things that you can do for your spouse that nobody else can. Why should your spouse be lonely at a couple's event when you are there? Even if it's hard to make it, try as hard as you can. You may not be at 100% of all couples events, but at least make the efforts. Let your partner see that you are proud to be seen with them. That whenever couples are being represented, you will represent with your partner so that everybody will know that he too is married or she too is married. It's good support and it brings honor to the marriage. You don't even need to be asked if you are attending. If it's a couples event, automatically, whether you like it or yes, you're going. Unless, of course, there's some big reason that you both agree that, hey, it will be best not to attend. But as much as possible, you have to do your best to show up for your spouse, not because you like to or because you want to, but because it's important that you show up for your spouse. Many people are married and they are lonely. They are married and their side is always empty. Whenever it's time to show up anywhere for a couples event, their partners cannot be found. That is so unfair. You're cheating your spouse out of the support that they need from you. So please make it a point to honor your marriage by showing up for your spouse, especially when it's a couples event. The fact that you get up and you are eager to show up for your spouse even before they ask you, or the fact that you make it a point that it's automatic, they don't need to ask you, you just show up for them because couples are expected. That is a great way to honor your marriage. Another thing for us as Africans, we are very secretive. We don't we don't like sharing a lot about our marriages. But whatever works for you, works for you. What we're trying to say here is that as much as possible, keep your business to yourself. That is another way of honoring your marriage. Keep your business to yourself. Not everybody needs to know what your partner got you for your birthday. Not everybody needs to know where you are traveling to next. Not everybody needs to know what project you're working on. Hello, Auntie Vivian, you are welcome. It's nice to see you. Hello, Mr. Binding, the one and only. You are welcome. Yes, not everybody needs to know your business. Not everybody needs to know the next car you're going to get. Not everybody needs to know the next house you're going to buy. Not everybody needs to know your plans. Keep your business private. Why are we saying that? If you don't keep your business private, you open up for people to share their opinions on your life. And for me, I always believe that the badge of being an adult is being able to take your own decisions and then take responsibility for the repercussions. If you're always asking other people what to do, you are belittling yourself. You are acting like you're not an adult. So your business should be between the two of you. The two of you should be able to work things out. And the two of you should be able to plan your own business by yourself, because it's the two of you in the marriage. It's the two of you taking care of your children. So whatever the two of you need to do, as long as you're both okay with it, that's all that matters. You don't need to go and call your parents and ask them that you are taking this decision. Is it okay? Or you don't need to go and ask a third party to weigh in on the decision that you are taking with your spouse. And nobody needs to be able to put their mouth in your business unless you've invited them. Unless you both agree that, hey, where we are, things are hard, it's difficult to make a headway. Let's go to talk to so and so. You both agree and you both go talk to that person. But for you to be telling everybody your business, every little plan, everybody needs to know. And even if it's not everybody needing to know, if there are 2, 3, 4 people that before you take a decision, you talk to them first, that is not honoring to your marriage. That undermines the very fabric of your marriage. The two of you should be able to discuss your plans, be able to take your own decisions, and move on with your life by yourself. The two of you need to be the only people whose voice matter in the marriage. If you need help, both of you need to agree that, okay, let's go talk to this person together. And then you go ahead and talk to the person. But when everything that you're doing, people know about it, or you're asking for people's input, it does not honor your marriage in the least. Sometimes one person may be keeping quiet or maybe keeping their issues private. And then the other spouse will be telling their family, will be telling their friends, will be telling some people in authority. It does not help. It's important that if you want to honor your marriage, keep your business private, keep your plans between the two of you, so that there's no party weighing in and disrupting your plans, or there's no other person deciding for you what you should do. As long as the both of you are good, that's what matters. So another way to honor your marriage is to keep your plans private between the two of you. And then sometimes to realize that people assume that whatever you put on Facebook or whatever you put on social media is about you. So people will be thinking, oh, people say you should keep your issues private, but they go and write stuff on Facebook. Most of the time, people assume when they see things on Facebook, they want to think what they want to think. Somebody may be reading an article somewhere and come and write something. It happens to me a lot. I may be reading an article somewhere and then I come and write something on Facebook. Immediately people start thinking, hey, this person's husband did something wrong. This is so unfair. And the saddest part of it is that they will not come and ask you. They will start gossiping between themselves. They go call somebody else and say something else and call somebody else. For you that the issue is about, they will never ask you. And that should tell you those people just want to gossip. So the people who want to gossip and want to assume, it's just well done, oh, keep going, oh. If you don't have anything to worry about and you want to assume, keep assuming. But if it matters to you, if you are concerned about somebody, the thing to do is not to go and ask somebody else. That is pure gossip. The thing to do is to call the person directly and ask them, hey, you put this on Facebook, are you okay? That is when you are showing love and care, not when you want to find out the details from somebody else, or you just want to assume and sit in your corner that, hey, this and this and this. But it's up to you. If you want to gossip, feel free to gossip. Feel free to gossip and keep going. It's your own business. Yeah, let's come back to topic, honoring your marriage. We have already said that wear your marriage. That includes wearing your ring and showing up for couples events with your spouse just to give your support. not only when you want to or you have to, but also just because you need to support your spouse. And we also said that keep your issues private, your plans, your businesses, whatever you're going to do next, keep it private to prevent third party inputs. Unless, of course, both of you decide to go see somebody, go talk to somebody, don't go sharing your plans and your business with third parties, allowing them to weigh in. That is not going to help. And another thing that you can do to honor your marriage is to speak only the good things in public. If you have a problem with your spouse, it is not for you to go and stand in public and speak about it. No. If you are speaking about your marriage, make sure you are talking about the good parts. If you don't have anything good to say about your marriage, please feel free to keep quiet, because you cannot be in a marriage and be talking bad about the marriage. One way that you can honor your marriage is to speak only good things about your marriage in public. When you have issues, solve them in private. When you have issues, find help in private. It is not okay to put your issues in public or go discuss your issues in public, because that dishonors your marriage. If you are saying anything about your marriage in public, let it be only the good things. If you have anything bad to say, don't say it. Come and say it at home. Let it be between you and your spouse. And if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. Just keep quiet. When other people are praising their spouse, just listen and smile. You don't have anything good to say, listen and smile and come home and come and deal with your issues at home. You cannot be in a marriage and talk bad about the marriage. By so doing, you are only inviting other people to bring. Pastor Favor says, "Hey, sir." Pastor Favor, you're welcome. It's nice to have you on here tonight. Yes. It's not good to talk bad about your marriage, or it's not good to talk bad about your spouse. If you don't have anything good to say, be quiet. Come home and deal with your issues. If you want to talk about your marriage, talk about only the good part, because that is a good way to honor your marriage. The people who talk good about their marriage, not all of them have it perfect, because you and I know that there is no perfect marriage on this earth. There's no perfect marriage. Every marriage has issues. So if you make it a point to come and air your dirty laundry in public, you are only opening up your marriage for ridicule. People have hidden the bad parts of their marriage nicely. They are only showcasing the good part. So you shouldn't be the first one, or you shouldn't be the one to come and talk bad about your marriage, because instead of building up the marriage, it will rather cause more problems. So talk about only the good parts of your marriage in public and talk about the bad parts in private. Pastor Favor says you are here. Thank you for hearing. Yes, if you have issues, talk about it in private. When you want to advise people, talk to them in private. Don't go and make a bad example of your marriage. It's not only your marriage that has issues. So people have issues in their homes. Everybody is managing their own. Everybody has challenges they are dealing with. So don't you be the one to come and talk about the bad things about your marriage, or come and talk bad about your spouse, or talk bad about your marriage in public, because when you do that, you're only helping to destroy the marriage instead of helping it to be stronger. There are a lot of people that when they'll be looking for loopholes. Whenever you say anything that suggests that you are unhappy in your marriage, they will quickly flock to you and try to help you. Um, Hey, hello, Peniel Encounter. That's Sister Cynthia, Pastor Cynthia. She says, absolutely yes. Thank you for that validation. Yes. And Pastor Favor says, outside gentility, home cry. Yes. Everybody cries at home. So you too, outside gentility, home cry. Because the people you are complaining to, they too, they are crying. So why do you want to be the one to come and cry outside? Please go home and cry in your home. If you don't have a home, cry in your car. If you don't have a car, find some tree, stand under and cry. Because public is not the place to come and disgrace your marriage. No, everybody has issues. It's not yours that we are going to use as a case study. Use your own in your house. Talk about your issue in your house because everybody has some. So when you come out, come and say only the good things about your marriage. If you don't have good things to say, be quiet. Don't come and lie to anybody when it's not great. Be quiet. Stay in your corner and be quiet. But make sure that another way that you honor your marriage is by sharing only the good things about your marriage. Leave the bad parts at home. When you go home, you go and sort it out at home. When you go home, you go and cry. Because everybody has issues. It's not yours that we are going to use as a case study. So please keep it at home. Share only the good ones. If you don't want to share, feel free to be quiet. Don't come and lie, but don't come and share the bad stuff. Keep it at home. Fix it at home. Honor your marriage by sharing only the good parts. Okay, so let's move on. The fourth thing that you can do to honor your marriage is that you should let people know that you make decisions together. Let me give you an example. There are some people that when they are asked something, they'll say, oh, let me go and ask my wife and come. If they come back and the answer is no, everybody will know that it's the wife that said no. So you are putting the impression out there that that's why you're a good person, but it's your wife that did not agree. Or let's say somebody came to ask you something, you'll be like, oh, let me go and ask my husband. You come back and you say no. Everybody will know that you would have said yes, but your husband said no. It's not important for you to be like, let me go and ask my husband, let me go and ask my wife. If somebody asks you something and you know that it's something that the two of you need to agree, just tell the person, oh, give me time to get back to you. End of story. When you come back and the answer is yes, nobody will know who said yes and who said no. If the answer is no, nobody will know who said yes and who said no. When you create that impression that, oh, let me go and ask my wife or let me go and ask my husband, you're trying to let people know where you stand, and then whatever answer that you bring, they'll know how your wife or your husband voted. Nobody needs to know how you came to your decision. They only need to know the decision. So if somebody asks you something, tell them, let me get back to you on that. When you come back and you give the answer, whether your wife said no, whether your wife said yes, it's none of their business. So to honor your marriage, one thing that you need to know, one thing that you need to do is to let people know that you speak with one voice. Don't make that distinction of my husband says, my wife says, so that they will know that, oh, as for the man, he's good, but it's the woman who is bad. No, let them not be able to tell who said what. Let everybody know that the two of you make decisions together. So when you are deciding, just tell them, hey, give me time, I'll give you an answer. When you come back, whatever answer you give them, you move on. Don't tell them, let me go and ask my husband or let me go and ask my wife, so that everybody will know it's your wife that said no. It's unfair. And that also gives people the leeway to know who to go and ask next time, because they know, oh, as for the wife, if I ask, she'll say no. So let me go and ask the husband. You bring division in the home. So, one other way to honor your marriage is to let people know that you decide together. You are not two people, you are a team. So, whatever answer you give them, it's coming from the two of you. Don't let people see who said what. Whatever answer you have, you give them. Who said what is none of their business. So honor your marriage by letting people know that you are a team. Okay, another way that you can honor your marriage is to practice we. Practice doing things together. Accept that you are a team. Know that whatever you are doing it together. A lot of people like to do things like they are by themselves. They decide for themselves. They don't care what the wife thinks. They don't care what the husband thinks. That is unfair. If you want to honor your marriage, practice we in everything that you do. Make sure that you are a team. If your partner is doing something that will look bad on you, you need to call them at home and try to fix it quickly before it comes out, because you are a team. And it's important that you listen to each other, because whatever output that you give out of your home, it reflects on both of you. So make sure that you have that mindset that is we, is us, and it's not me all the time. It cannot be me because you are married. Practice we, practice us. Every step that you are taking, involve your partner. That is a great way to honor your marriage, because it will be very sad for your partner to go do something outside and then you totally don't agree with it. That's really, really sad. So that is why it's important that you agree at home first. Think we first before you go out there and do anything and then come back and ask your partner. That's unfair. Before you take a step, make sure it's a we step, it's an us step. Practice teamwork. Make sure you are doing things with your partner and not doing it by yourself. Practice we all the time. Make sure that your decisions are from both of you and not you deciding for the team all the time, because there's no I in team. It's us and it's we. Take your partner's input before you go out there. And that is a great way to honor your marriage. If your partner knows something, don't go out there and make a mistake. It reflects very bad on your partner. And sometimes, if she or he didn't even know what you were doing in the first place, how are they going to be able to give you an input? So, one other way to honor your marriage is to make space for your partner to always have a say in the things that you are doing. Practice we, everything you're doing, do it together. Know that it is teamwork, so that every output that you have, it will reflect very well on both of you. It will not always be one person's ideas, one person's decisions. Make sure you're doing it together. Come out as a team. Come out as we. Don't come out as me and go and make mistakes for both of you, because we all. Oh, my link here. Two heads are way better than just one head. Okay. So the last point that I have that I want us to talk about in honoring your marriage is that you should conduct yourself in the marriage such that your marriage will be encouraging to young people. If your marriage is not encouraging to anybody, at least the children that you have, they should be able to look at your marriage and say that I want a marriage like mommy and daddy. You should be able to ask yourself, the way that I'm acting in this marriage, will my children even want to get married? Young people these days are thinking, oh, we don't need to get married. Find somebody to get you pregnant and have some children. Look after your children, live your life and be free, because marriage is too stressful. Marriage is too tedious. They are getting all these ideas from what they are seeing, from what they are hearing, from the ways that some people are treating their spouses. So one way that you can honor marriage in general and honor your own marriage is to conduct yourself such that the people who see your marriage will be encouraged to get married themselves. Make that a goal, that the way I am conducting myself in this marriage, the people who see me, the younger people who see our marriage, would also want to get married because of what they see. And if not for anything, your children should say that I want a marriage just like mommy and daddy have. So if your marriage is not looking the way that your children would want to get married or even have a marriage like yours, then you should know that you have changes to make. It takes humility and teamwork to make marriage work. One person cannot make a marriage work. It takes two people who are willing to listen to each other to make marriage work. So before we sign off, and if you have any questions, this is a great time to type it. If you have any contribution, this is a great time to type it. But before we sign off, we're just wanting to summarize everything that we said tonight. We said that a lot of times people are happy in their marriages, but they don't show it because they don't think it's important. And we are also not encouraging people to put everything in their marriage out there. All we are saying is that if you're happy, it's good to show it. Little things you can do to show that you're happy in your marriage and that you honor your marriage. The first thing that we said was that wear your marriage. Make sure you're walking around with your ring. Show up for your spouse whenever there's a couples thing. Don't even wait to be asked. Make sure that you're showing up for your spouse such that everybody knows that there's somebody supporting this person. The other thing we said is that keep your plans private. That shows a lot of honor to your marriage. Nobody needs to know what project you're doing. Nobody needs to know what your plans are. Your plans are between the two of you. Show honor to your marriage by keeping your plans private. We also said that whenever you speak about your marriage, say only the good things. Keep the bad things at home so that you work on it at home. And if you don't have any good thing to say, at least you can just be quiet. It is not compulsory for you to talk about your marriage. But if you must talk or if you want to talk, say only the good things. Why are we saying that? Everybody got issues. So don't let yours be the case study. Keep comments about your marriage positive. People are hiding their bad issues at home. Don't make yours the case study. Talk only good things about your marriage in public. Work on the things that you don't like at home. Everybody has some. Okay. The other thing that we said about marriage was that get agreement before giving people answers. Let everybody know that you decide as a team. And the example that we gave was that when somebody asks you something, don't go and say, I'm going to ask my husband or let me go and ask my wife. No. Just tell the person, give me time, I'll get back to you. When you get back to the person, you give the person whatever answer it was. That way, nobody will know who said yes and who said no. Because when you make it look like you would have said yes, but your wife said no, or your husband said no, you're trying to paint your husband or your wife in a bad light. Let people know that you decide together. And it doesn't matter who said what. All that matters is the conclusion that you came to. So let people know that you decide together. The other thing that we said too was that practice we. Let your partner have a say in the things that you do, so that when you come out, everybody will know that this is teamwork. Because if your partner knows something and you make a mistake in that same area, it means that you are deciding everything by yourself. Your partner has no that two heads are always better than one. So make sure you practice we. Make sure you're always employing teamwork. Let your partner have an input in your decisions and do things together, so that your output will be better and it will be a representation of both of you and not just one of you. And in closing, we said that you should conduct yourself in your marriage such that younger people watching you would actually want to get married in the first place. And they would also want a marriage like yours. Ask yourself, would your children want a marriage like the one that you have? Would your children want to be married from what they are seeing in your marriage? If the answer is not yes, then you know that you have work to do. You have room to grow. So it's important that you make changes such that you are a good example of marriage in general, and you are a good example to your children. Your children will grow up and want to marry a man like you, or want to marry a woman like you. So, one way of honoring your marriage is to conduct yourself in such a way that your children want to be like you. Pastor Favor says some people delight in making others look bad. It's true. And if you are if you are one of those people, you need to stop. Even if your partner is bad, keep it at home. When you come back, when you come out, come and say only the good things. And Pastor Cynthia says teamwork 100%. That is so, so true. Make sure that you are doing teamwork. Pastor Favor says face look. You know, in Akan, they call it in Shishenimo, it's like doing things to just gain approval, and that's not the real picture, but you just want to gain approval. No matter how bad it is in your house, when you come out, come and show only the good part. Keep working on the bad part at home, because everybody has some of the bad part. Don't use yours as the case study. Go and deal with your issues at home. If you must say something about your marriage, say only the good part. And an advice, Pastor Cynthia says, hey, Pastor Favor. Pastor Cynthia, don't be worried. She likes to joke around. Don't be worried. Yes. The other thing is that usually when you have issues, it's important to talk to somebody you can trust. The fact that we say don't say anything bad about your marriage does not mean if you need help, don't ask for help. But know where to ask for help. Talk to people you can trust. Talk to people who can give you good advice. And you cannot have 10 advices. You can have one or two or three. You can't have 10 advices. Don't go telling everybody your issues because you want to find help. No, you need to find one or two or three people you can trust, and that's it. We are not saying don't talk to anybody at all, but make sure whoever you are talking to, you can trust them and they can give you good advice. There are some people, when you take your issues to them, they'll rather help you to do bad things and then you regret what you did. Make sure whoever you are talking to is godly. Make sure whoever is you are talking to is somebody who is pro marriage. There are some people who don't really like marriage. Somebody like that, you have no business discussing marriage issues with them because you already know where they stand. They don't want to be married. So when you have marriage issues, that is not where to go. Make sure whoever you are talking to, they can actually help you. You can trust them and they are pro marriage. And you cannot have more than 3 people that you talk to. If you have more than 3 people you are talking to, they are too many. It should be 1, 2, 3 is maximum. Don't go talk to too many people. You should be able to sort your issues by yourself. There are some issues you should be able to decide to even move on, because not every issue in your marriage will be solved. Some of them you just have to endure, some of them you have to overlook. But the ones that need attention, make sure you're getting help from trusted people, people who will give you good advice, people who will give you sound advice, people who like marriage, so that after talking to them and it doesn't work out, you know that, okay, now we are in dangerous waters. We need to get professional help or we need to make the next step. So I hope this evening we've been able to learn a thing or two. Let's bring Anna to our marriages. Let's make people know that marriage is not rosy, but the little that we are enjoying, let's make people know that it's not that bad. And God has been good. Let us be able to praise God. Pastor Favor says, goodly counsel. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you coming. So before we sign off, thank you so much for joining us, Pastor Favor, Auntie Vivian, Mr. Biney, um, Pastor Cynthia. I'm so glad you came. Thank you for joining us. It's been a long time. God bless you for joining. So until we come your way, God willing, next week with another interesting topic, let's not forget that it takes a good Christian to have a good Christian marriage. And until we meet again, God bless your marriage. Bye bye.